Awesome. We are live. And I'm here with Dr. Kyrin Dunston. Thank you, Dr. Kyrin, for being with us.
Hey, Dr. Betsy. So good to be here.
So I'm so excited. You have this mega star lineup of a summit coming up on Monday. So tell us a little bit about this.
Yes, it's the Stop the Menopause Madness Summit. So people keep asking me, what is the menopause madness? Well, it's two things. So one is it's the lack of appropriate treatment to address the symptoms, the myriad symptoms that women have at midlife and menopause. So perimenopause and menopause. In the mainstream medical community, that's part of the madness. And then the other part is what we in this phase of life accept as being okay. We accept that we're going to gain weight, be tired, sexless, lose our hair, and have myriad health problems for which we need prescription medications. We accept that and we think it's okay and we make fun of it and we laugh about it and we say, we just need to be medicated with wine and chocolate and sugar. And that's insanity. It's madness, both of these things. You can be just as healthy and vital and alive at 40, 50, 60, 80 as you were at 20. You just have to address the imbalances that are happening that are causing these problems. So that's what this summit is all about, stopping the madness.
You know, it's so funny because I think in our culture, we often look at menopause as like this ending. Like, okay, yes, it's the ending of your period, but I can't remember who told me recently, but they were telling me that in Japan, the terminology that they use for menopause translates meaning into like second spring.
Yes.
I'm like, I love that. That's so amazing because really, if you think about how long our lifespans are, we probably spend more time in menopause than we do in our reproductive years. So,
right. Yeah. If we live the average lifespan is somewhere between 80 and 82 now for women, we just may do that.
and to be like, oh, this is an ending, and then like we're just going to accept all this stuff that they've told us, like, it's just part of getting older. We have these vital lives to live, and it's ridiculous.
It is, because I really do see menopause as a second spring. Most of us have fewer responsibilities. Our kids are in college or gone somewhere else. We are really establishing our careers and companies, so that gives us a little bit more freedom. And we have so much wisdom. We are the wisdom keepers, the older females in a culture, although in our culture, we've kind of been downgraded that we don't have anything to offer. But the truth is we do. And we're coming into this era astrologically of the divine feminine, the age of Aquarius. So really, it's time for us to shine and claim our power, but that means claiming our health first. Because if you don't feel good, you know what? You're not good for anyone else. You can't help anyone else. But when you empower yourself by healing your body and gaining that vitality and energy that's possible for you, then guess what? You get to give your gifts that only you can give to the world. And we need your gifts. So that's so key.
Now this is a 5-day summit, correct?
Yes. So Monday, November 2nd to Friday, November 6th, 5 days. We have 53 speakers, 34 doctors. Most everyone on the summit is a credentialed healthcare provider, and they're trained in both mainstream and holistic treatments. So they're going to help you understand what steps you can take, small changes you can make to move towards health. But some of my favorite speakers in the summit, Betsy, are the non-healthcare people, because these are people who were just like the average person who's going to be at the summit, maybe you watching now, who had health problems and had been to their doctor and many other doctors and been told, oh, that's normal for your age. Oh, there's no problem with your thyroid. Oh, for one of them, Palmer Capola, take this biologic to shut down your immune system to fix your MS, which she was horrified by, rightly so. So people like L. Russ and Palmer Capola. So Palmer had MS and she healed herself. Like she has no signs of it in her entire body. And now by becoming an expert. And now she's written a book for people on beating autoimmune disease, because it is possible to heal this. Now, your regular doctor who's putting you on the biologics for lupus or MS or Hashimoto's, they're not going to know this or talk to you about this. And then Elle, same thing with her thyroid. She didn't feel right. She was still having symptoms, and they kept dismissing her, doctor after doctor. And she just said, that's it. I'm going to learn everything I can because I know something's wrong. You know yourself better than anyone else. So if you feel something's wrong, something's wrong. And if you don't know what it is, or the doctor doesn't, the right question hasn't been asked. So you just need to find the right provider. And that's what she did. Now she's an expert, and she's written a book as well. She knows more about the thyroid than any doctor I've ever spoken with. So you definitely want to hear that. But there's so much at this summit for you.
Oh my goodness. I was going to say, tease us with some of the other topics that are there. I mean, I know you can't give it all away because you don't want to miss this. You definitely want to miss this.
I couldn't tell you all the content that they taught in the 5 days. But we've got all the hormones covered, right? Estrogen, progesterone, testosterone. If you're afraid of hormone replacement, if you came off your hormones in 2002 when the Women's Health Initiative study came out and scared everyone, you need to revisit it, and you need to see Dr. Lindsay Berkson talking about why you shouldn't be scared, but you really need to make estrogen your friend. Dr. Deb Matthew talking about progesterone, Dr. Tara Scott about natural hormone replacement therapies, Dr. Sean Tassone talking about cortisol, Marcel Pick talking about cortisol. So we got all the hormones covered, including insulin also, and thyroid. We've got JJ Virgin talking about food sensitivities and how if you've removed gluten for a month and you didn't notice any difference, you still might be sensitive to gluten. And she explains that very clearly and what you need to do to take action. We have Cynthia Thurlow talking about intermittent fasting, who's it right for, who's it wrong for, how to do it right, and the harm you can cause when you do it wrong. So you want to make sure you hear that. Dr. Mindy Pelz, we put up a sneak peek of her video the other day. Tremendous, just encyclopedic knowledge about diet at midlife and menopause. And she's going to help you navigate the nutritional whiplash you might have right about now because you don't know what to do. There's so many people out there saying, this is the right way. This is the right way. We have exercise covered with she's not a doctor, I'm sorry, exercise physiologist, Deborah Atkinson of Flipping 50 podcast. And she taught me some stuff, put me in check about my exercise program, things I thought I was doing right, that she told me I was doing wrong. I was actually doing too much and causing myself harm by it, but I didn't know this. She lays it out beautifully. You don't want to miss that. Susan Bratton talking about, she's an intimacy wellness expert. If you're one of these women who said, and I've heard this 1,000 times, I don't care if I ever have sex again. That was actually me 12 years ago before I found root cause resolution medicine. And if you're one of those, you need to hear Susan talk, because yes, you've got hormonal imbalances, toxicities, all these issues that are causing you to have low libido. But the other issue she says is, which is true, that a lot of women don't want to have sex because they've had unsatisfying sex for so long, they don't even want to be bothered with it because they don't understand their own sexual anatomy and response and what they need to become properly aroused, right? Men, they're built differently. She explains this. Women, we're built differently than men. It takes a bit to get us aroused. And she gives an anatomy lesson to beat all anatomy lessons. And she gives a whole breakdown of what kind of stimulation you need to have the proper engorgement, to have multiple full body orgasms. And she does a show and tell that you do not want to miss. She shows you tools that you can use to improve your vaginal health, near and dear to Dr. Betsy's heart. Yes. She taught me about some things I had never heard of, and just amazing. She's really a powerhouse, so you want to see that. We talk about gut health, genetics, heart health. Dr. Sharon Stills on breast health, Dr. Lee Aaron Keneally on early cancer detection and tests that your regular doctor doesn't do or know about to check for circulating cancer cells in your body years before. They will see a colon cancer on a colonoscopy or a breast mass on a mammography. So you want to know about this, how to prevent cancer also. So much. Betsy.
I'm so excited. I've been waiting for this. I'm so excited that this is it's finally here.
It's
So
it's like
yeah,
Christmas.
I know. And it's so needed, especially, I mean, with this information, women just need to know just in general, because it's so hard to find all this information in one location too. Like, that's the other thing, is there's so much information out there on the internet. You want to get it from like a source that's reputable, and this is all going to be in one place. So yeah, I'm so excited for this. I think it's going to be wonderful.
It's so
So
true. There's so much information out there. We're in the age of information. So you don't need more information. What you need is wisdom from
yeah.
people you trust teaching you. And so that's what this summit is all about. You're going to get credible information from credible sources that you can take action on.
Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. And then so this starts Monday, November 2nd. And
Yep.
then what's the time that it starts?
Starts at 10 a.m. So each day, about 10 interviews will be released, and you'll have 24 hours to watch them. It is free. I don't know if we said that.
Oh, we
It's
supposed to say that. Yes.
free. And don't worry if you're concerned about, oh, I don't have time to watch all those each day. There is, for a nominal fee, you can purchase all access so that you can watch it anytime, forever. You'll also have access then to the private podcast feed, so you can multitask and listen and while you drive, or whatever you're doing, and the transcripts. So that is available, but you don't have to do that to join. You can join for free.
And I think that's just so amazing, because, the other problem we have nowadays is when you do go to your doctor and you have all these questions, the doctors don't have time to sit and explain this stuff to you. So this is going to be your opportunity to have things explained, and not just like from one person, from multiple experts. So you got it all in 1 week, and all the information you could probably ever need to know about menopause, so you can get on
Right.
with it.
The menopause manual. It's literally a manual, a how-to guide.
And I think that's great, because you know what? I think that's the other problem, is everybody knows about their periods, and there's so much information about getting pregnant, and then all of a sudden nobody talks about menopause. It's it's not talked about. It's just like, okay, it's this thing that happens, and people kind of it just kind of gets blown over. And there's so many women out there like dying to know, like, what's happening, what do I expect, what do I do, So.
And I know that women are really lost, because I was OBGYN and knew about menopause, and yet I couldn't figure out what was wrong, because I was doing all the standard treatments that we're taught, right? Birth control pills, sleeping pills, all that, antidepressants. And so if I was lost, I know you're lost, listening. And that means you need the information. And I wish, just like, maybe the mom sits down, or you have an appointment with the doctor when a girl goes through puberty, and they're like, this is your period, and this is what it means, and this is how you take care of yourself, right? We need that for menopause, damn it. We need a rite of passage. We need a ritual, maybe, I don't know, at 40, where we have a circle of elders, and they sit down with you and go, now this is what's going to happen. You're going to start feeling like an alien in your own body at some point. It may not happen tomorrow, but in the next 10 years, it's going to happen. And your periods are going to be completely wacko and crazy. And you're going to start having all these possible symptoms, and the hormones affect all areas of your body. And then by the time you hit 51 on average, you're going to completely stop, and you're going to feel like you're in a foreign country and you don't know the rules. And this is what you need to do. And then when the actual menopause comes, we need to have a celebration like it's a graduation. I did this YouTube video. I forget what the title was, but it was about how menopause is a graduation and something to be grateful for. And I had on the thumbnail, I was holding a diploma with my cap and gown, like I graduated.
I love that. That's hysterical.
And that's how you should feel at this time. Like, you should have the freedom to be who you are authentically. If you're stuck in these loops of emotional reactivity where you find yourself falling in the same negative situations, only they're different people, and you're like, haven't I done this before? You need to hear Dr. Tracy Thomas. She's an emotional strength trainer, and she teaches you how to get out of those loops. And then Cherie Clark, the midlife courage coach. She helps you navigate the forks in the road, right? So how many of us at midlife have a marriage terminate or a job terminate? Or we realize that even though we've been in a job for many years, we just can't do it one more day. And we have to go to our calling, which, maybe is we want to open a sailing school in St. Thomas, or we want to be a botanical designer or something. But it's scary, right? It's different. It's not what I've known. My family says I'm crazy. So Cherie helps you navigate that. So this summit is about the physical health, but part of that is what Dr. Maritza, who's in there talking about menopause myths, amazing talk, she calls the intangibles, thoughts, feelings, beliefs, and kind of that soul force in your life. So you really need to know how to navigate those, because if you're scared and in fear and about, I really want to do this thing and I hate my job, but I'm scared and I don't know if I can, guess what? That's affecting your hormones and your health. So, or, Debbie Silber talking about post-betrayal syndrome. Many of us have betrayals at this time in life that is our fork in the road, whether it's a partner cheating or a business partner with a financial betrayal or something. She helps you navigate that. So it's all encompassing. It's 360 degrees for your health.
I love it. And I was thinking same thing with me. I had a hysterectomy when I was 40 and like instant menopause. And here being an OBGYN, I'm like, hey, I know menopause. I know what's going to happen. I know what's going on. And I had no clue. Like, I just like, so I'm going to get hot flashes. Like, didn't realize any of the other stuff. So I totally agree with you. Like, even though we're gynecologists, like, it was never taught to us the way you're going to teach it in the summit. I'm like, I wish this summit was around, 8 years ago when I was going through this. So I'm so excited for it. I'm really looking forward to it. And and everybody, I'm speaking in it too. So, make sure you listen to mine. So,
yes, about vagina health.
Yeah.
So important, right? It's so funny. My cousin called me a few months ago on a Friday afternoon. And, she doesn't call me that often. She usually texts. So I was like, okay, what's going on? I pick up the phone. She's like, Kyrin, I just came from the gynecologist and they told me I'm in menopause and that my vagina could cave in. Is that true? It's funny because yes, it's true, but it's funny that the doctor put it that way. It's not how I would put it, but she was terrified. So we had a long talk, but most women aren't educated. What doctors are educating their patients, what gynecologists going now, when you don't have the hormones, your vaginal lining is going to get very thin and friable, and it's going to be very tender. And then it's going to start scarring, and that scarring is going to start contracting, and your vagina is going to start closing down till whatever age you won't even be able to get anything in there. Does any doctor tell them that? No. And your bladder and your urethra, where the urine comes out, has these hormone receptors too, and it's going to start having the same problems. And you might start leaking urine or having urgency and frequency and all kinds of bladder problems. Like, we're not taught to educate. And 20 years ago, that's how I treated my patients because I didn't know any better. But like what Oprah says, when you know better, you do better. So now we do better. You need to be educated about that, because what you don't know about menopause will hurt you. That's just a fact.
And I think, the other thing that's really important is just because this is like Stop the Menopause Madness, it doesn't mean that you have to be in menopause to listen to this. Like, this is a great program for younger women so that they can understand and know, like, hey, what's ahead? Like, I can understand it. Or, maybe they could take the information that they learn and bring it to like a parent or your grandparent or somebody else in their family. Or, honest truth, the men need to watch this because they need to know what their partners are going through. And if you imagine the men would shock their partners, or they're like, honey, yes, I know all about menopause. Like, I am like a menopause mentor now, like.
It's so true. And really, for women at any age, if you're having health problems like fibroids, endometriosis, PCOS, infertility, breast cysts, ovarian cysts, it will help you. But even if you want to know this phase is coming up eventually, if you live long enough. So how do I prepare myself? There was someone on the summit, I can't recall who's saying, like, I wish someone had given me, like we were just saying, a tutorial so I could have balanced my hormones beforehand. And then I did have a man reach out to me and say, like, this may be a stupid question, but is this for me? Could I learn something here? And I said, absolutely. So men and women, we have the same hormones, same system, same hormones, just that men have testes that make 10 times as much testosterone as women have, and women have ovaries, and we have 10 times the estrogen that men have. It's the only difference. Otherwise, qualitatively, we're exactly the same. And since there's no summit like this for men that I know of, you are welcome to come join us and learn all about your different hormones and your cortisol. And Carol Laurie does a master class in testosterone. She even talks about male testosterone. So you definitely want to hear that. And your cortisol, you guys, for men and women, I like to say that menopause gets the blame for everything, but it's not the culprit of every problem you have at midlife. A lot of it rests with cortisol and the other hormones and toxicities that you have. So you definitely want to hear those, because that is for sure not addressed in mainstream medicine, right, Dr. Betsy?
Yeah, definitely not. So yeah, so I'm so excited for this, and I've actually already posted the link. So in the Facebook on the Facebook page, I put it in my profile. So if you guys need to figure out where to go, you can find that link at the Greenleaf Health and Wellness. You can find it at Dr. Betsy Greenleaf on Facebook. I'm going to put it other places too, so you guys all know where to go. And just remember, Monday, like, get your Halloween like out of the way here and start your November fresh with stopping the menopause madness. So,
Yes.
Dr. Kyrin, is there anything else you want to let us know about?
No, I think that, if you look at the welcome invitation page that Dr. Betsy has a link to, it has all the speakers, all their talks. It has the agenda of when their talk is going up. You definitely want to register. You can join our Facebook group. I'm in there daily, talking and answering questions, and a lot of the experts have come in too. So it's just a really great community of women who are seeking the same thing you're seeking, and some men who are seeking that too for their loved ones. So thank you so much for participating, Betsy. So excited about the summit, so excited about everyone having this wonderful information and inspiration. Thank you for participating.
Great. Well, thank you so much for putting this together. I'm looking forward to it.
Great. Well, I'll see you at the summit.
All right. See you there.
All right.